So about a month and a half ago, I was traveling on the subway in the north part of the city. Not a part of the city I would normally go to. It's the subway line stretches out as it travels very far. Like the stations get a bit further apart. This announcement said the train wasn't going to travel past a certain station or had to bypass the station. I forget, but there was some disruption to some section of the line, and they said it was due to a personal injury on track level. They updated us a few times over the next few minutes, like, yeah, we're still bypassing Glencairn Station. I don't know if that's where it was. Probably not, but we're bypassing Glencairn Station due to a personal injury on track level. And then so I was on my way to get something, and I'd be traveling back that way later. So about 45 minutes later, I was back on the train heading south, back the way I came, the same line, around the same spot on the line. There was again one or two announcements, and it was the same thing, like we're bypassing this station or we're bypassing this certain section of the line. Response crews are dealing with a personal injury on track level. We will update you at a later time. So that was the language, basically. Again, and so I start thinking to myself, like, well, I mean, like, did someone jump in front of the train? Like, they're still there, like 45 minutes late. Like, what are they? If someone's injured, and you've known about it for like practically an hour now, like, why are they still there? Did they have a spinal injury or something and you can't get them out, or or someone jumped in front of a train, or someone wandered into the tunnel like some crazy person and got hit by a train, or perhaps a worker got injured in some way. But it was pretty fishy that you're still dealing with an injury there after 45 minutes. I mean, unless that means that they have some technological, like, equipment problem, but that's not what they were saying. So I think it was, my first guess is that it was a jumper. Also, you'll hear while riding the subway train other times where, frequently when they have to close down stations temporarily, and this tends to happen in Scarborough or maybe North York, or like not so much on the downtown line. Well, it could happen downtown, but not so much in the west part of the city. But they'll say so and such station is closed due to a security incident. There's a security incident at Pape Station. Due to a security incident at Kennedy Station, trains will be stopping at Coxwell and not continuing. Or shuttle buses are now, due to a security incident at Greenwood Station, shuttle buses are now running between such and such station. For those who don't know, a shuttle bus is like where they replace okay, there's no subway train, they have to provide some transport for the stranded passengers, so they provide bus service, temporary bus. And so what is the security incident? Is it something, you never know, but there's so many things that could be going on. But anyways, I guess the point I'm getting at is this sort of cold and dead machine which increasingly manages our world. And by that I mean bureaucratic, semi-corporate, semi-institution or governmental organization. This structure increasingly manages our lives, or at least it's something we find ourselves, interacting with frequently, at least if you live in a city. I don't just mean transportation. I mean, you could find this in other, I don't know, in a shopping mall, for instance, or any sort of situation where there's a lot of people coming together, but or just it's just the way they communicate even to you individually. But they use this sort of language which is very depersonalized and vague, and it leaves a lot to the imagination. And also, it's like they can't tell you bluntly what is going on, because to do so would scare them for some reason, or it would be dangerous for them to speak the truth. So they speak some of the truth, but not the whole truth, or they mask it, and they spin it in a certain way, and they really omit most of the information. They do this with race. When reporting crimes with regards to race, they do this increasingly now. If it's a car attack, if it's a van attack, and the assailant is a Middle Eastern man or a black man, they may not mention that. Maybe they will, but they may not. But if it's a white person doing that, they probably will mention that and show a picture, whereas in the former case they may not show a picture of the suspect. So that's a similar idea. It's these, like, we just tell you what you need to know, and it's this cleaned up, sanitized, and almost deadened, boiled down basic information without any of the real kick or substance to it. So much of the meaning that is in life is just clipped out and burned away, or by this sort of dead machine organization culture. I wouldn't even call it a culture. It's just like a dead machine overlaying us. That's what it does to language. So you can make fun of it. I mean, it's ripe for humor. I mean, it is pretty depressing to think about, but it's just devoid of life. And you can see how, like, you can't have a civilization that carries on like this for very long, where this is the way it communicates to people. There's something not right here, because it needs to be more honest, more blunt. Please. Hasta luego, amigos.